The title of my speech is called The History of the Ankh. Take a moment and ask yourself these questions. What is an ankh? How did it come about? What does it mean to symbolize? And has anyone ever given you an ankh before? Out of the 11 people that took my survey, 45% of them had no idea what the ankh symbol meant nor symbolized. However, more than half of the students that took my survey did not know where the ankh came from or how it came about. All these questions will be answered as we look at the origins of the ankh, what it means and symbolizes, and how the ankh was used personally, religiously, and artistically. Now that we have a clear understanding of what we will be talking about, let me share the origins of the ankh with you guys. The origin of the ankh is completely unknown, but there are a few theories that have been propounded. Sir Ernest Arnold Waller Budge, who was an English Egyptologist, believed that the ankh had possibly originated as the belt buckle of the mother goddess Isis. However, Sir Alan Gardner theorized that the symbol represents a sandal strap with the loop going around the ankle and a vertical T-shaped cross attached to a sole at the toes. The English word for sandal strap was ankh, which also came from the same root as ankh, and sandals were a daily part of an Egyptian life, and the ankh symbol came to symbolize life. Still, other theories include the belief that the ankh represents the sun surmounting over the horizon, which represents regeneration, regrowth, and renewal. Now that we have talked about the origins of the ankh and the theories that were propounded, let me share with you guys the symbolism and meaning of the ankh with you. The ankh is an ancient Egyptian cross and hieroglyphic symbol used to represent the word life. The crucifix became a symbol of life and was known as the key to the Nile and the key to life. Although Egyptians saw this as a symbol of life or immortality, it also had a certain relationship with death. Now that we have talked about the symbolism of the ankh and what it means, let me share to you guys the fertility meaning of the ankh with you. The ankh represents joy, energy, and fertility, but it also represents a symbol between opposing forces such as between masculinity and femininity. The loop area of the ankh represents the female organ. The male organ is used to represent the line of the ankh below the loop. People believe that the ankh shows the union of a man and woman. The arms of the ankh represent children that were given birth as a result of union. This tells us that not only was the symbol used to represent life, but it was also a symbol of future life and immortality. Now that we have talked about the fertility meaning of the ankh, let me share to you guys the spiritual meaning of the ankh with you. From a spiritual point of view, people believe that the ankh is a key that contains all hidden knowledge about the world. Spiritually, the loop of the ankh was used to represent an eternal soul that is completely endless. The crucifix of the ankh was seen as representing death, but it contains tons of mysteries about life here on earth and death itself. Let's pause for a moment to summarize what we have found so far. First, we have discussed the origins of the ankh, and second, we have talked about the meaning and symbolism behind the symbol. We are now in position to see how the ankh was used in personal homes, religion, and art. The ankh cross can be found made of metal alloys, crystals of surface or wood, clay, or stone. However, the material depends on the use that will be given. Metal ankhs were used for amulets or even mirrors. You can also use the metal ankh amulets for meditation exercises that are aimed at connecting with spirituality or divine healing energy. Many mirrors were discovered with metal and have been shaped into the form of the ankh, and some people had thought that it gave the person the ability to see into another world with these mirrors. Wood, clay, or stone carvings were used for protecting the home from evil, and ankhs that were carved in glass were used as excellent health talisman. Now that we have discussed the personal uses of the ankh, let me share the religious uses of the ankh. The ankh was used in many religious rituals and religion itself. Coptic Christians used the ankh symbol to decorate textiles with. Africans used the ankh in rituals, especially in those involving royal cults. The Africans' meditation and rituals used the ankh as a hiko, which means word of power, and they chanted repeatedly aloud or mentally while concentrating on the meaning behind the symbolism. Now that we know the religious uses of the ankh, let me share the artistic uses of the ankh with you guys. Almost half of the students that took the survey usually see their religious symbol used in art. The ankh appears frequently in Egyptian tomb paintings and other art representing deities of the afterlife. Egyptians would paint an ankh on a tomb or death mask to symbolize passage into the afterlife. In numerous paintings of the pharaoh, the ankh in the painting would be used to symbolize the long life of the king. The people of ancient Egypt would give ankh figurines to the pharaoh to wish them a long and prosperous life on the throne. When a god or goddess is shown on a painting holding an ankh towards the pharaoh, it was used to display the blessing of eternal life. Now that we have discussed everything there is to know about the ankh, let me share to you guys the concluding statement. We have seen the many theories that few Egyptologists have propounded about the origins of the ankh symbol, discussed the many different meanings and symbolism of the popular and recognizable symbol, and how it was used for personal homes, religion, and art. All these questions have been answered as we looked at and discussed the origins of the ankh, what it means and symbolizes, and how it was used personally at homes, used religiously and artistically. Going back to the introduction and the final question that was asked, has anyone ever given you an ankh before? On my 26th birthday, my younger sister had given me the shiny gold sterling ankh necklace. To this day, to give an ankh to someone is to wish them life and health, and that changed the way I looked at religion and of ancient Egypt. The same applies to even giving the wish of an ankh symbol to someone in thought or deed. Thank you guys so much.